Hello, welcome back to Ace Attorney Investigations. Yes, we are finally back, for us at least, because we had a very long break of playing this because I started playing Echoes of Wisdom instead. So let's return to Turnabout Airlines. Let's go. Let's try to remember all of our voices. Alright, we are in the basement of the plane. Gosh, you get the fuck out of the way. I can't see shit.
Yeah, what's up, pal?
Whatever.
Wow, so this is a cargo hold, huh?
Oh, off he goes.
You got the fuck out the way.
He got the zoomies.
It's...
Get on with it.
It's so big! Yeah, see? It's so big, see?
This plane is a special model. It has both a super large cargo hold and ultra luxurious first class seating. So is the fuck. It's been a while. So is this the real scene of the murder? There is certainly a high probability of that, which is why we are here, correct?
Okay. Let's start investigating, sir.
Begin! Pay attention, Gumshoe.
Ow! I just love pushing the buttons on the elevators and crosswalk signals. Hey, you should give it a try, sir. Go on, push it!
The elevator is currently stopped on the first floor, Detective. It can't move.
Oh, yeah. Yes, nothing would happen if you pushed it now.
Well, nothing would happen normally anyway without the special key card. Both the door to the attendance room and the elevator's control panels require a key card, which makes it impossible for a passenger to come down here. Also, Gumshoe, you're a dick. Why would you do that? That just makes everything harder. Oh, I go smaller. I become a big boy. Smaller. Big boy! Right, let's have a look at this shit. All sorts of boxes are piled up here.
This one says flammable, and this one says pharmaceuticals. This one says for exorcism use only.
This is for me.
Oh, sorry.
This one says for exorcism use only. Just what kind of operation is this airline running? Hello? Good day? Have you noticed anything strange happening around here? Do you like it as I talk into your ear? Have you noticed anything strange happening around here?
No, sir, I haven't noticed a thing, sir!
I'm not sure he meant to sound so oblivious. How are you, Franny? You arrived at the scene of the crime before...
Funny.
I know.
Sorry!
It's why I wish we could watch Ghosts and have you watch it properly, because there are a lot of Fanny jokes in it, because one of the characters is called Fanny. And by this I'm referring to the UK version of Ghost, not the US one. You arrived at the scene of the crime before Detective Gumshoe, correct? And you then immediately began to direct the investigation. It seems to me that you were already here at this airport for something besides this murder. Yes, I was. Why? I've been following a very large and involved governmental level international crime. But it's much too large for one person to take on alone. So it was decided that I should form a joint investigation with Interpol. Interpol is involved. It's a top secret operation, so I can't really tell you any more than I already have. Thank you, that is actually really interesting. Right.
Holy suitcases, Mr. H1! It's like an all-you-can-see suitcase fair!
That's giving Robin vibes. Holy mackerel, Batman!
Yeah,
It's like an all-you-can-use suitcase fair! Shut up. These must be all the leftover ones they couldn't sell, which are not really that many when you think of it. The ones that the company is planning to dispose of after this fight is over.
There's 11 of them.
Thank you for counting.
You're welcome.
Say your line.
This paint job is really cool, don't you think? It practically screams artsy!
Oh, why not purchase one then? I'm sure it will bring you much happiness.
You think so? Then maybe I will. Let's see here. $1,200! I think I'll pass.
And Mr. Nero wonders why they don't sell. You'd need 2 jobs just to buy one. Although, it definitely looks like the one is missing. What is this brittle substance I'm stepping on? It's a bunch of glass fragments.
Fuck!
Anyway, let's continue investigating. Keeping track of this many pieces of cargo must be very taxing on the cargo crew.
This sure brings back memories of when I worked as a part-time mover, sir.
By the look in his eyes, he's waiting for me to ask about the rest of the story. But no matter how he pulls on the puppy eyes, I have no intention of doing so. That's that. I suppose we have this suspicious suitcase here.
Hey, what's with the suitcase, pal? It's all the victim checked in, sir!
I like how you're doing the saluting as you're doing it. But it does help sometimes to copy their animations to actually talk as them. It's like me with Maggie Bird when she first appeared. I was constantly saluting. So this suitcase belonged to Mr. Hicks. I don't think he'd mind if we took a closer look. Well, he is dead, after all. Gumshoe, why?
For fuck's sake!
Gumshoe, stop snacking and having cans of cola. We're investigating. This could be the crime scene.
I'm thirsty, sir!
It's a crime scene, Gumshoe. If you wish to have a drink, do it outside. And then come back here
There's nothing
immediately.
out of the ordinary in here, sir!
Wait, a file?
And there's a letter of Miss Montgomery in it, sir!
It looks like a profile on Franziska. Why would Mr. Hicks have had a file on her? Right, well, let's have a look. That is not what I was looking for. Where is my file on Franny? Well, where is it?
It's just fucking cold!
Oh, I guess I'll read this. Just as Mr. Nero said, the timestamp says she bought the suitcase at 5:40 a.m. There is nothing else of interest on here.
It's just gone.
For there to be so much blood on this piece of cloth, was the victim wrapped in it at some point? According to Mr. LeBlanc, this textile is fairly famous. Gumshoe.
What a waste.
And that is all we have here.
Where did your file go?
Where did it go? Can I have my file?
Can I have my file?
Unless... Wait, if I get out of here for 1 second...
Profile's time.
Logic! Yes! Peripheral and Franziska, Interpol, connect! Must have been a member of Interpol! Now, why would Mr. Hicks have documents profiling Franziska?
Oh, I know. I bet he's a big fan of Miss Montgomery, sir.
Franziska said she had come to this airport as part of an Interpol investigation. I don't believe she's on any of those websites, Gumshoe.
Oh, maybe Mr. Hicks had heard she was coming here and he followed her.
Detective, I think it's more likely that Mr. Hicks was, in actuality, Interpol Agent Hicks. I think Franziska had some explaining to do.
Oh, working glasses the questions.
Perhaps. Can this connect? Yes! I think we can safely conclude that these fragments are from a pair of glasses.
And the victim was wearing a pair of broken glasses!
Exactly what I was thinking. I'm sure that the shards would match up perfectly with the remains of his glasses lenses. Ergo, the victim was here, just as I suspected.
So you're saying that the real scene of the crime was here, sir?
Isn't that what I've been saying for a while now?
Oh, is it? I didn't know that!
Perhaps it's a bit too early to draw to that conclusion. However, I believe that the probability has just skyrocketed considerably. All that's left is to find the murder weapon, which I have still not found. Francisco, do you know anything? I should tell you about Hicks, actually. You came to this airport to rendezvous with the victim, didn't you? Shut up, Gumshoe. Go blow your nose. Nonsense! What are you talking about? We found a profile detailing information about you in the victim's luggage. I suppose it was prepared for him so that he could recognize you when he landed. Which makes him not Mr. Hicks, but rather Interpol Agent Hicks. Isn't that correct? I should have known you'd figure it out, Miles. But it looks like they got to him first. So you really did come here to receive an Interpol agent, then? Yes. Agent Hicks was on the trail of a very large international smuggling ring. He went undercover to investigate this crime. And it was I who put him on this case. I was supposed to receive a call from him on his cell phone once he had landed. I never expected to receive a call about his murder instead. I think we now have a pretty definitive evidence that Agent Hicks
We have a pretty definitive evidence.
Yes, that Agent Hicks came down here to the cargo hold.
But what was he doing down here, sir? There's nothing but luggage. Oh, I get it. Maybe he forgot something in his suitcase and came down to get it. Ow!
Agent Hicks came here for a work-related reason. Of that, I'm sure. Yes, I'm sure he was here to investigate the smuggling operation he was observing. Francisco, do you know exactly how he intended to pursue his investigation? No, unfortunately I was going to find out from him after he landed. I see. But this raises another question. A normal passenger can't access the cargo hold on their own. Agent Hicks must have identified himself to a member of the crew and entered the cargo hold with that person who let him in. Yes, and then he was murdered here. These glass fragments and his broken glasses are a testament to that. And then the killer put Agent Hicks into one of the spare suitcases and they entered the elevator, but while they were riding it up, the plane hit up that patch of turbulence. Because of the intense shaking, the suitcase popped open and Agent Hicks's body flew out. At the same time, his wallet fell out of his pocket, spilling its contents everywhere. Which explains why there was money scattered all over the elevator floor. We're finished here, let's go. I think it's pretty easy to say who the culprit is at this stage.
What? Really, sir?
I know what you're thinking, Miles Edgeworth, but the killer can be none other than Miss Rhoda Tenero.
Actually...
If it was a crew member, any one of them could have shown Agent Hicks to the cargo hold. But the point to keep in mind is that the keycard allows the elevator to come down here. The only person with such high-level access is Miss Rhoda Tenero. I'd say that's a pretty decisive piece of information, wouldn't you? I know what she's trying to say, but I'm not certain it's as simple as that. That might be true, but then it could be anyone, including Miss Mealy, or even the captain.
Fucking Mealy.
Don't be a fool. A plane without a pilot in the cockpit is like a horse without a rider, crop in hand. Much like Scruffy over there. I can't disagree with her on that. Detective Gumshoe does always need a guiding hand. Very well. Then what about the other flight attendant, Miss Mealy? Ha! I thought you might ask about her. But that's highly likely that the keycard was stolen from Miss Tenero. It's highly likely. Is that possibility the best you can come up with? And you call yourself a disciple of my father. Ugh. Yes, well, while I don't have any evidence,
Be quiet! You're a disgrace! There's more evidence pointing to Miss Rhoda Tenero, you know. It's not just the keycard that gives her away.
Are you talking about the murder weapon, the Captain Ugo piggy bank?
Yes, she is also the only person with a key to open that display case.
Hold it! Objection!
But that is a fake.
Stop right there, Miles Edgeworth. You don't have any proof that this is just a red herring. If you must keep on insisting it's a fake, then what is the real murder weapon and where did it go? Speechless, I see. That's not a surprise. After all, you know that we've searched the entire cargo hold and came up empty-handed.
There must be a way. There must be something that can help you rule out the piggy bank as the murder weapon. It should be examined further to help us ascertain the authenticity of the weapon.
The body?
I suppose the body.
Don't click it before you...
Francisco, I think you were too quick to jump to your conclusions.
Oh, was I?
Yes, we don't even have the autopsy results yet. How can I not say that you've made a snap judgment when you've yet to even see if the wound on Agent Hicks's head is consistent with the murder weapon?
Scruffy!
Yes, sir!
Contact the medical examiner's office at once. I wish to hear the results of Agent Hicks's autopsy report.
Yes, sir! I was right then.
Yeah?
It's the body. We've got a big problem, Mr. Edgeworth, sir!
What is it, Detective?
They're still doing the autopsy, but they said they already know there's one thing for sure.
Report, now.
The docs say there's one giant bruise with a beating on it from his shoulder down to his mid-back.
From the victim's shoulder to his mid-back, he was beaten over such a wide area?
Well, I'd say maybe it's a sign the killer had a grudge against Agent Hicks. And it wasn't just his head, the killer went all out and hit him multiple times, sir.
Goodness.
Scruffy, what is had a grudge against Agent Hicks supposed to mean?
Well, there's,
Was the wound on the victim's head consistent with the murder weapon, Detective?
Oh, well, they said they were still looking into that, sir.
You're completely useless!
No! Sir, I told you already, you can't go down there.
No, you remove yourself from my way.
I know who that is.
What is all that racket?
Oh, fuck off!
Excuse me. My luggage! My cargo! They are mine! I demand you return them to me! You're gonna have to.
We're still investigating the cargo hold. Please understand and have a little patience.
I suppose there is no choice.
Finally, I think he get. Hey, what are you?
You have left me no choice but to use strong force! Ah!
You won't get past me. Oh, this is wait. That's it. So that's what made this whole. This is what this whole thing has been about. Okay. I'm getting more pieces of logic as he falls. I love.
Cause of death.
I don't know what to link with which, because
Cause
obviously.
of death, weapon couldn't be found.
Extensive bruising, severely. Someone had it against him because of the smuggling. I'll try it. Nope.
I told you, right.
Not exactly a shining example of perfect line of logic.
Cause of death, weapon couldn't be found.
Nope.
No. Cause of death at Ugo Bank. Probably.
It's hard to say. Okay. Allegedly, the killer struck the victim many times over, which is why there is extensive bruising over such a wide area. But is that really the correct conclusion to draw from the evidence? The bruise from his shoulder to the middle of his back is one continuous mark, which is more suggestive of a single blow to the back. If that's the case, then the piggy bank is much too small to have caused that. Therefore, the murder weapon must be something far bigger. There you go. If we're looking for a rather large weapon, you'd think it would stick out, but so far we haven't found anything that resembles a weapon of any sort. Perhaps, just perhaps, it's something we all overlooked from the very beginning, because normally it's too impossibly big to be taken into consideration.
What was all that about? He was trying to jump his way down here?
Franziska! What? What do you want? I found it, Franziska. I found the real murder weapon. You did?
He really jumped!
We didn't realise it until now, but the answer has been right in front of us this whole time.
He might be here. We should go check on him, sirs.
There's that pompous attitude of yours again. You should learn to drop that habit.
This coming from a prosecutor with a habit of whipping everyone she comes across.
Anyway, if you really are a prosecutor, then you'll have to back yourself up with evidence.
You two aren't listening at all, are you?
Come on then, show me this real murder weapon you speak of.
It's the suitcase.
Right?
This is the real murder weapon. The suitcase? The real weapon is this suitcase.
When you say it with such confidence, I suppose you must have some evidence.
Of course. Agent Hicks was placed into the suitcase alive. And it was while he was in here that he was beaten in the head and
Ah! I wonder if you would die if I whipped you
It's
from
not
head
right.
to toe right now.
What are you thinking, woman? Of course I would. I need to think about the circumstances of the victim's death in a different way. There's a wide bruise running from the victim's shoulder down to his mid-back. Maybe I should be focusing on what caused such a large bruise in one strike. It's not in our evidence, though, from what I can tell. Don't have evidence? I don't have any evidence to show you.
Foolish reasoning for a foolish fool from a foolishly foolish fool meant to fool me. What do you mean I don't have any evidence to show?
Perhaps I should have phrased it as, that which caused Agent Hicks's death is incorporeal. Forgive me, but I do believe I figured out what was the real cause of death. Suffocation, freefall, strangulation. Freefall! The victim fell from a great height and subsequently died as a result. In other words, the real cause of death is free falling to the ground.
Fell to his death?
Yes, this is the only plausible possibility. The victim has extensive bruising on the back of his head and his back, and the only rational explanation for these injuries is that he fell to his death.
But the murder weapon happened inside this plane.
I know.
Are you claiming that there is some place in this plane from which he could have fallen from?
As I said earlier, the answer has been right in front of us the entire time.
You can't mean.
Yes, I do. The victim fell from the top of the stairs of this very cargo hold.
What? Then, we're in trouble. We may have a second death on our hands, sirs. Hey, you! Tell me you're dead, pal! Quiet! Why are you screaming? He's alive!
And there you have it, Miles Edgeworth. It's not possible that Agent Hicks fell over the railing to his death. That man is living proof of that.
I suppose it's true that it's not possible, given the current circumstances.
The current circumstances?
Yeah,
What
boxes
is that
weren't there.
supposed to mean?
Boxes weren't there.
Suppose that large piece of cargo wasn't there at the time. What would have happened then?
I would have been over getting a pancake for sure, sir.
I suppose that man over there wouldn't still be breathing. But the reality is that the cargo box is there. So there is no point in entertaining your wild hypothetical scenarios.
It may be there now, but there is no proof that it always was there.
Ha! As if there could have been a window of time when that giant box was not there.
Ah, but there was.
What?
Oh. The stopover.
Refueling, there it is.
You refueled in the Republic of Genfar?
Yes, this flight had a short layover in Genfar in order to refuel. But that wasn't the only reason for the layover. We also transferred some cargo. What if the box in question was only transferred onto the plane at that time? To further prove my point, let's take a look at what's next to the box in question.
Ah! It's labeled Genfar Express.
Correct, meaning it was loaded onto the plane in Genfar. Now, what if the box in question was also loaded on at the same time?
It would mean that the box was not here in the cargo hold during the Europe to Genfar leg of the flight.
Making a clear drop from which Agent Hicks could have fallen to his death entirely possible.
Ah, but your theory is still very far-fetched.
Then allow me a chance to prove how very likely my scenario is. First order of business will be to examine that piece of cargo in more detail. Well, time to investigate again. Excuse me. Thank you. This is a rather large piece of cargo.
There's a tag on it, sir. Let's see. A leaf red statue. Never heard of it.
Nor I, but all I care about is if we can prove it wasn't here at the time of the crime.
Then let's get investigating, sir.
Fuck off. Goat, scissors, eye,
Leaf,
Leaf,
feather, no
feather,
feather, no,
leaf.
not feather, leaf, exclamation mark, question mark,
glowing teardrop, beetle, Hadouken,
no,
bowing.
exclamation mark.
Hi.
No, he's gonna stop it. Look here! Do not come out touching my possessions without my permission! Ah! Don't rush up on me like that, pal!
So this belongs to Mr. LeBlanc, does it? I should see what else I can find out from him.
Please come again in an instant. Look here! Do not come out touching my possessions without my permission!
Suppose I have to appease Mr. LeBlanc if I want to examine this in more detail. Talk. I take it that this large piece of cargo belongs to you, Mr. LeBlanc.
Of course it is mine! I shipped this fine piece of art from Europe! They're selling for statues with 10 million cents! No, maybe much more!
Mr. LeBlanc's reason for choosing this plane must have been the large cargo hold.
10 million cents?
I suggest you stop trying to calculate how many packets of noodles that makes, Detective.
Darn, how did you do that? I feel you keep getting better and better at seeing right through me every year!
Though I grow with each revolution of the planet around the sun, I have the distinct impression he continues to madly spin in place. Cough, cough.
Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, so that 10 million cents, is that in euros or in dollars?
Does it really make a difference to our case? Mr. LeBlanc, is there a chance that your cargo is... There is a chance that your cargo is related to our murder case. I was wondering if you would allow us to examine it a bit closer.
This is a very valuable piece of art, so no, there will be no touching! Wait a minute.
What can you tell me about it?
Bear with me. Let's do that photo of Agent Hicks again.
You think it could be that?
Thinking it could be. Something similar. But no. I don't just that was new dialogue anyway, but
Go on then.
Why do you show me something of no value? Show me the bread first, and then maybe we'll talk.
Is he asking me to pay him to get him to talk? Well, I don't know how to get him to talk at the moment, so...
Probably...
Keeping track of this many pieces of cargo must be very taxing on the cargo crew. Yeah, we've
Is your
talked this one.
it's about time over, sir?
We've done this one. We will still not get that story. So Mr. Hicks was actually an Interpol agent.
That's so cool, I can't believe it was from Interpol. The adventure, the glamour, and the miraculous big escape when you get caught by the enemy.
Except in this case, there was no big escape.
And no miracle.
Tell me something.
If you spot anything off, you come and tell me right away. Okay, pal?
Roger,
Ro-
sir. Ah! It's rather unusual for Gumshoe to be so directing. He must outrank this officer. Gumshoe.
If you run into any trouble, you just leave it up to me, okay?
Yes, sir. Ah! Watch out, Detective Gumshoe!
Ow!
Scruffy, I think your ego is in need of some deflating.
I was following your footsteps, sir. I don't try patronizing my subordinates.
Cruel and unforgiving to the detective, even in front of his own subordinate. The leftover suitcases sit here, lined up in two pretty neat rows. Too bad for Mr. Nero, but this design is unmarketable.
I got one if it was cheap, sir. Do you think they'd sell it to me at a discount? Oh, well, why don't they sell them in the airport? Never being bargain basement sale. But I want to get one free. If you win the raffle, you get more for free. How about those ideas, sir?
I think if they did that, everyone would lose. Francisca, if I may have a word with you, Francisca.
I don't think you have the time for idle chatter. You still need to prove to me that your hypothetical situation is in fact reality.
Good job, officer. Mr. LeBlanc is certainly not an easy person to hold back. No thanks necessary, sir. It's all part of the job, even if he did eventually get by. Well, I have a few things to ask him anyway, so it worked out in your favour this time. Thank you very much, sir. Next time I'll be sure not to let anyone through. Even if it takes my life in the process, sir. I appreciate the sentiment. However, we can't have people getting hurt on the job either. I guess we have to find some way to get him to talk. Tell me more about the cloth. Cough.
What a waste! How horrible to see a precious piece of cloth soiled!
I assure you, it wasn't me. I believe it to be the work of the killer.
I will teach that killer a lesson. You can be sure I will! It'll be the LeBlanc Revolution!
I think you meant the LeBlanc Retribution, but either way, it sounds intimidating. Suitcase. No. What, this? The test?
No!
Apparently it's of no value. I'll just present everything to get something.
You! I can say you have the guts to show me a piece of art of this time, but from a single glance I can already tell it is most worthless.
Ha! This is much more valuable as a piece of non-art, I assure you.
You look like you have something to say? I'm sure thinking like casting pearls before swine.
You actually hit the nail on the head for once.
Ah, so you're finally paying my wasted money?
Sorry, but there is absolutely nothing inside this wallet.
How dare you! You're wanting to trick me! I will sue for fraud!
Mr. LeBlanc, are you seriously considering a courtroom tango with me? I hope not, but in case you are, there is a certain lawyer I can introduce you to.
You meant right.
Yep. Can't present any profiles.
How do I get him to talk?
I
God's sake. Logic!
I mean, that might fucking help.
Smuggling valuable piece of art. Finally! If Mr. LeBlanc had something to do with the smuggling ring, then it's possible this fake statue was bought on board in Zanfar. I think I need to question him a bit further. Thank God! About your statue, Mr. LeBlanc. I wonder if it might be a fake.
What? How dare you say my art is fake?
I suspect that your statue might be the target of an international smuggling ring.
Don't you say fantastical things! Those thieves would not dare! I have the certification of my cargo right here.
Do you mean the cargo certification document? Mr. Zinc LeBlanc, why didn't you say so earlier? Please show it to us at once. I can't read this. What does it say?
It says plain as day the cargo was put onto the plane in Europe.
And there you have it, Miles Edgeworth. Too bad for you. This statue was brought on board in Europe, just as it states in the certificate.
No, that's...
Which means that there never was a window of time in which the statue wasn't sitting there.
There had to have been. Because how the fuck would the Zanfar one be behind it?
Yeah. I respectfully disagree. We can't discount the theory until I see the statue for myself.
Well, then you're gonna have your wish! Look at it yourself and see that I am right!
This... I know I've seen this somewhere before. I know, it's from the picture.
I guess it's the elite red? Here goes no such feeling of art! I can practically smell it! This statue has a high amount of historic value! After it was unveiled at a museum in Europe, I brought it to this country to exhibit it! It's not the...
I believe a closer look is warranted here. So this is the infamous Elif Red statue.
What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? Did you find something?
There's something wrong with this picture. We should examine it in more detail. I've seen it somewhere before.
No wonder the seams were 10 minutes in. Look how it sparkles, sir!
I wouldn't call it sparkling, detective. Maybe more along the lines of dully shining.
Eyes. Hello.
Cloth! I'm not entirely confident that there is a contradiction here. What do you think, detective?
Well, I think it's really suspicious looking, sir. My well-trained gut tells me so.
I see. Well then, I must be mistaken.
How come when I answer company, you say that to me? Well, of course, sir!
You are right, the eyes are wrong. These eyes are awfully orange, don't you think?
Yeah, pretty. Reminds me of so-and-so's when I was in grade school, sir.
I don't think you see what I'm talking about.
No, I do, but it's really like the colour of the sun when it's settling, sir. Ah, the memories. I remember standing out in that field, spinning with my arms out until I felt ill.
I don't care about sunsets. Focus, detective. What colour are the eyes in this photo?
Huh? Ah, sir, they're red!
As I thought, this statue is a fake. Mr. LeBlanc!
What do you want? Do you not know I am a busy man? I allow you 2 seconds for your answer.
The Elif Red. I suppose this is your pride and joy, is it not?
This is the biggest trophy on this European trip. Do you know why I wanted to possess this statue? The trigger started 17 years ago. Better grab a chair, sir. Sounds like this is going to be a long story.
Mr. LeBlanc, I regret to inform you, and you have my heartfelt sympathy, but...
What is it? Sympathy for what?
You'll see. I'd like you to compare the eyes.
That large fellow there has very bright and pretty eyes compared to you.
I wasn't talking about the two of us. I meant the eyes of the statue in front of us and the one in this photo.
Why the sudden yelling now that... Oh. It is a photo of the statue on display in the museum in Europe. Ah!
Now do you see, Mrs. LeBlanc? The statue before us is a fake.
A fake!
I believe that even further examination will be required, now that we have confirmed that this is indeed a fake. There must be some sort of proof that this was brought on board in Zhangfa, and I will present to you evidence that will resolve the remaining contradiction. Now can I do the bloody... The jewels in the eye sockets, they were made to look just like real gems.
So you mean these aren't real?
Do you really think the forgers would waste that kind of money on a replica?
I guess not. Oh, I just got a really great idea. I could probably find some rocks down by the river I can polish up to look like real jewels. I think I'll try that and give one to Maggie as a present next time.
I wonder if he's serious. I wonder if I should try to stop him if he is.
Woo!
Woo!
It's got to be that.
It's got to be this. Right, I'm now going to do that. Fuck! But it's got to be the fucking cloth!
Why don't you try? Was that one tied down?
Yes. Yeah, it was before. It's just been untied so we can get the cloth off it.
Okay. Why don't you put the actual box on the other side?
It's got to be the cloth. What am I supposed to do? Right. So the cloth is definitely the thing to do. We know that. So
What the fuck do we connect it with though?
cargo from Zhangfa, I guess. Fa! There is clearly a contradiction here.
What are you going on about? It's just a simple case of a cargo cover getting stuck under another piece of cargo. Ah! That's not possible.
But it is. It shouldn't be this way. But the statue is on top of the cloth. Supposing that the neighbouring piece of cargo was brought on board in Zhangfa, there is no way that any part of it should wind up under something from Europe. Which means that this fake statue was smuggled on board in Zhangfa.
But then what about the cargo certificate?
Let me ask in return, what about Agent Hicks? Why did he come down here in the middle of the flight? Huh? There is only one reason why, to secure proof of smuggling activity aboard this flight.
So you say, but I don't believe he had to do that mid-flight. We could have just as easily inspected all the cargo after the plane landed.
That may be true, however you have it backwards, Francisca. Sure, Agent Hicks could have waited until after the plane had landed, but he had a reason for coming down to the cargo hold. Suppose he had found the fake at the airport. It would have been after the swap had occurred. At that time, the suspicion would naturally fall onto the statue's owner, who would have no way to prove that the statue was switched without his knowledge, which means there is someone involved who is forging or modifying cargo certificates.
Interesting.
Oh, thank God.
It's like getting your health back in a game.
Ugh.
I guess the victim knew the real version of this was gonna be kidnapped, huh?
Yes, while this photo could be seen as nothing more than a simple souvenir, it was in fact taken to be used as a reference document later on. Next, Agent Hicks had to secure proof that the smuggling had taken place. He came down here to take a picture of the cargo hold, a rather empty one at that, right before the fake statue could be loaded on board.
A photo of the hold missing a valuable piece of cargo would have been proof enough. After that, all he had to do was hold the Zhangfa cargo crew and arrest the smuggler.
Exactly. This only goes to prove my theory. If the statue was not in the cargo hold during the Europe to Zhangfa leg of the trip, there would have been enough height from which Agent Hicks could have fallen to his death.
Officer! Move this statue immediately! I want a thorough examination of the floor underneath. Now!
Miss O'Connor, I'm ready to report my findings.
Go on.
After moving the elite threat statue out of the way, we tested the area under it with luminol, and there was a reaction.
I see. There was a reaction to luminol, an indication that there was blood in that spot.
Can we stop looking at it now, sirs?
It would seem that my deductions were correct after all.
I suppose it would appear that way.
The culprit cleaned the blood up well.
And how do you think the killer did that?
How did the killer clean up all the blood?
Cloth.
Why? With this cloth. The killer used the bloody cloth I found inside the suitcase to clean up the mess.
I see. They had a need to clean up the blood before the plane landed in Zhangfa.
Yes, because otherwise the cargo crew would have discovered it during the layover.
So you guys are saying that the murder happened before the plane landed in Zhangfa?
Yes.
There is no other conceivable timeline for the events of the murder. But if that is true, then that throws a certain person's testimony in doubt. The murder occurred before we landed in Zhangfa, and this becomes highly suspect. Milei's, yeah. Recall Miss Milei's testimony about Agent Hicks in regards to when we departed Zhangfa. She claims Agent Hicks was alive at the time of the service calls, but...
That totally contradicts the facts, sir!
But why would she lie about something like that?
She's involved.
I think the only one who can answer that is Miss Milei herself.
She's involved?
Yeah.
That is the only logical explanation. She is fucking involved.
Yeah, pretty much.
Saving time, there we go.
And that is, I guess we're going after our murderer now next time, so see you then. Bye! Thank you all for watching this latest addition to our growing collection of varying games and reviews, just videos in general. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Please leave a like and a comment in the comments section down below. We love hearing what you think. If you have any recommendations for either games to play or material to review, let us know in the comments and we'll do our best to get to them when we can.
If you like our content, subscribe to see more. Check out our playlists if you are looking for something new or worried you've missed an episode. Click on the recommended video appearing on the screen if you want to see more of us right now. You won't regret it, we swear. Subscribe to our Patreon to become one of our lovely beans today. However, if that is too expensive for you at this time, please consider a one-off donation on our Ko-fi. Help a poor tea-wench today.
And with that, lime out.
Dragon out.
Bye!